Hello there and welcome everyone. Lord Greggor and I would like to update you on the Vale Keep renovations. It's getting pretty exciting. Yes, he's been here with me and it's been a busy time. He's been working, I've been working, and we're working together on a lot of things. So, welcome in. I know you're excited about hearing what is happening at the Keep. And hello there to you, Lord Greggor. It's so good to see you, and it's always so good to be with you and record these updates.
My lady, I am very well, especially sitting here with you this evening. The work at the keep continues, but I must admit, these past few days here with you have been a welcome pause. Bread, tea, and your company are far preferable to dust and scaffolding. That said, progress has been steady. The men have kept to their tasks, and I have been receiving updates even while I've been away. It seems Vale Keep has not chosen to rest simply because I have.
Well, Your Grace, bread and tea is definitely an understatement for us. But thank you so much. And time seems to stand still a little bit when you and I are together. But I wanted to talk to you about something very interesting that has come up from the guard tower. Now, they've made a lot of progress there since you have been here. And if you will want to share this treasure that has been found, that's the only thing that I can say that will describe it.
Treasure is one way to describe it, though not in the way most would expect. What they uncovered was not gold, nor anything meant to be displayed. It is a stair, a narrow one, hidden within the thickness of the tower wall itself. It is completely sealed off. The men found it when removing an inner section of stone that did not match the rest. Behind it, a passage descending. It should not be there, not according to any plan I have seen.
So it is old then.
Very old, far older than the tower we are dismantling, which means only one thing. The tower was built around something that already existed, and that is why I must return tomorrow. Whatever lies below that stair was meant to remain covered and unseen.
Well, you've definitely been on the phone a lot to everyone, and I know when you got that call earlier today, it was very exciting. So, as much as I'm going to be very sorry to see you go, I'm also going to be very excited to hear more and maybe even see more what you have there. So tell me, and I know it's very hard without seeing it, but I know that they have sent you some pictures. What exactly do you think that was or that is? And why would they be building this tower around it? This is just getting so interesting.
From what I have seen in the images, the stone within that stair is not the same as the tower. The cuts are cleaner, more deliberate, and the mortar is of a much older composition, which tells me this was not added later. It was already there, and rather than remove it, they chose to build around it. That is a decision no builder makes lightly. So, it was either too important or too dangerous to disturb. As for what it leads to, I cannot say with certainty yet. The stair descends sharply and the lower portion is still partially blocked with debris. But I do not believe it was meant for ordinary passage. It is very narrow. That makes it hard to be concealed. This feels very intentional. And I will not have men forcing their way down it blindly. I will see it myself before anything further is done.
Well, by now you know how my brain works. And I'm asking you, could this be something like a getaway passage? Could it be something like a hidden secret way of concealment? And for you to go back there and want to go down this blindly, you are going to go down blindly. And you don't want to have your men do it, but you're going to do it. And so don't you think that's a little dangerous? I don't know about that.
It could be a passage, yes, but not the kind meant for frequent use. If it were simply for movement or escape, it would be wider, easier to access. This was hidden too well, sealed too completely. That suggests it was meant to be forgotten, not used. As for going down it, I would not say blindly, Veliana. I will look at this carefully, I promise you. I will not rush into it, nor will I place myself in unnecessary danger. But I also will not ask another man to step into something I do not yet understand. If there is risk, it is mine to take first. And you need not worry. I have no intention of doing anything reckless. Only deliberate and thorough.
Okay, well, I'll take your word for that. And as things get more intentional, and I'm going to say that because you're intentionally taking down these towers now and the walls. And my question now is, what is the probability of you finding something more that's there? And yes, by the way, I'm very glad that you're not going to do anything reckless because, well, I would like to have you in one piece, But this is so interesting. And wow, I just wish I were there. But that time is going to come very soon. So do you think perhaps this stairway, this passage, goes below the surface? Because there's a lot of rock under the guard tower that you're taking down there.
I believe it does go below the surface. From what I've seen of the angle of the stair, it is too steep to remain within the tower's foundation alone. It is descending into something older, something set into the rock itself. And as for your first question, yes, the probability is higher now. When you begin removing later structures, things built quickly, built for function, you sometimes uncover what was hidden beneath them. Not by accident, but by design. The fact that this stair was sealed tells me there may be more, though not necessarily nearby. Places like this were layered over time. One generation builds, another conceals, another forgets. We are uncovering. And I will admit, my lady, it does make the work feel a bit less predictable than it did a week ago.
Does this mean you'll be adding more men and more workers there to assist you now? Because maybe even some advisors, but I mean, I can't believe that anyone would know more than what you would know about Vale Keep. But interestingly enough, this reminds me of another castle that you and I spoke about.
I will be adding a few more men. Yes, but not many. Too many hands in a place like that can cause more harm than help. It requires patience, not force. As for advisors, perhaps one or two quietly, not to lead, but to observe. There are those who understand old stone and older construction methods in ways that can be useful. But no, I do not expect anyone to know Vale Keep better than I do. This is simply a part of it I have not yet been shown. And I know exactly which castle you are thinking of. There are similarities. A hidden descent, sealed within later construction, something older preserved beneath something newer. That is not coincidence, my lady. That is intention.
So this other castle, I'm going to bring that up again so our listeners can really make the connection. This one that we talked about, you visited there in your early days when you were in the military. And I'm going to say, and that is Ponari Castle, where the hidden passage went below the castle and into the mountains. Now, obviously, this is apples and oranges, but it could be, it could be from that same era, would you think? And could it be that something really resonated in the mindset back then? So for those of you who don't know Parnari Castle, that is the castle of the real Vlad Dracul, and that was in a previous episode that Lord Greggor spoke about. So, if you'll give us your thoughts on that, please, my lord.
You are right to draw the comparison. In that era, it was not uncommon to build with layers of intention, what was seen and what was hidden beneath it. Passages below ground, concealed routes, secured chambers. All of it served a purpose beyond daily life. But what we are seeing at Vale Keep feels different. At Poenari, the passage was meant for escape. It had direction, purpose, a clear outcome. This does not yet feel like that. The way it was sealed, the way it was built around rather than connected to anything. It suggests preservation more than movement. So yes, it may come from a similar mindset, a similar time even. But I do not believe it was meant to lead someone out. I believe it was meant to lead inward. And that is what makes it more interesting.
Are you saying that you feel there may have been an outside entrance coming into Vale Keep through the guard tower in that regard? I mean, for our listeners, that terrain right around that castle, around Vale Keep, is very treacherous, is rocky and steep. So, in my mind's eye, that would almost make it impossible. But what is it that you're meaning?
No, my lady, not an entrance from the outside. If it were meant to bring someone into the keep, it would connect more directly to the outer grounds, and there would be signs of wear, traffic, use, purpose, and this does not show that. It feels more contained, as though it was meant to be accessed from within the walls and then closed. Not for movement between places, but for reaching something specific below. You are quite right about the terrain. The rock around the tower would make an exterior approach extremely difficult, especially in secrecy. This is why I do not believe this was ever meant as a hidden way in. It was meant to remain where it is, hidden but not abandoned.
The way I'm perceiving this, could it be someone who wanted to maybe even hide or be contained, or maybe even be concealed? Maybe there's a room at the bottom. What do you think about that? Could there be? And I have to ask about the stability of the foundation of that whole area of the guard tower. I mean, all I can think about is everyone digging around this and everything becoming very unstable. So would that lend itself to have any type of underground tunnel? And is it possible? Does it lead to the catacombs? and is it possible that I can ask any more questions in one?
It is possible there is a chamber below. The way the stair is built suggests it was meant to reach a specific point, not simply continue endlessly. That usually means a room or a space of some kind. But I do not believe it was for someone to hide in the way you are thinking. If it were meant for concealment of a person, there would be signs of access, of use. This feels more deliberate, more permanent. As for the foundation, the rock beneath that section of the keep is very solid. That is why the tower was placed there in the first place. So yes, it could support something below without compromising the structure. And no, I do not believe it leads to the catacombs. The catacombs are older, and they run in a different direction entirely. This feels separate from them having its own purpose, its own design. Which is precisely why I intend to see it myself. And no, my Veliana, you never ask too many questions.
Well, that's good to know, because you can probably see by taking a look at me right now that I'm chuckling because my mind is going in 15 different directions. And the first thing that I want to ask you is, I know that you don't guess anything about anything. You don't guess. But let me say it this way. If you had to speculate what this was for, knowing the location of the keep, knowing the guard tower, knowing the history of the keep, because obviously it was there long before you and long before your family was there, maybe even in the early days of Vale Keep, what really was the purpose of this?
If I allow myself to speculate for you, then I would carefully say this was not built for convenience, nor for escape. I believe it was built to hold something. Not necessarily a person, but something of importance, or something that required privacy, protection, perhaps even separation. The way it was sealed suggests it was not meant to be revisited often, if at all. In the early days of a place like Vale Keep, there were times when certain things were kept below ground, not out of fear, but out of necessity and preservation. Records, objects, perhaps even things tied to events people preferred not to leave in open halls. So, if I must give you an honest impression, I do not believe this was a passage. I believe it was a destination.
So now the plot thickens and it gets very interesting. So let's say if we speculate carefully, like what you say, what if there are historical records? What if history could be rewritten by what is there? Is there a responsibility that you have to whomever with these records or even objects or relics? Or would they just remain at Vale Keep?
That is where care becomes more important than curiosity. If there are records below, true records, then they would not be something to move or reveal lightly. History is not always written clearly the first time, and not everything that is preserved was meant for the world at large. My responsibility would be to understand what is there first, then to decide what is protected, what is shared, and what remains where it was placed. Some things belong to history, and some things belong to the place that kept them safe. Vale Keep has held its silence for a very long time. I would not break that without reason.
At this point, now moving forward, this is just getting so interesting because it's almost as though Vale Keep is becoming this place of safety for so many things. And I know this is why privacy is so crucial for you. I mean, many of the paintings and artwork, relics and statues, maps, historical items, everything from keys like you sent me are there at Vale Keep. I don't want to say it's a museum because it's not certainly like that, but is this something that's going to require an archivist, or will this be up to me, being the chronicler of Vale Keep?
My lady, it will be you. An archivist preserves, but a chronicler understands. What we are uncovering and what already exists within Vale Keep requires more than cataloging and storage. It requires interpretation, care, and a sense of what should be recorded and what should simply be remembered. You have already begun that work, whether you realize it or not. There may be times when additional hands assist quietly, respectfully, but the responsibility of voice, of record, of meaning, that belongs to you. And you are right, Vale Keep does not need a museum. It needs someone who knows how to listen.
Well, your lordship, I believe you're going to have to help me with more journals because it's going to take a lot more than what I have right now.
Veiliana, I have already ordered you many more journals and supplies that you will need. They will be waiting for you to arrive at Vale Keep when the time comes. I will always take care of you. You mean more to me and the keep than you will ever know.
Thank you so much, your lordship. And that means so much to me, and probably more than you'll ever know. So now I would like to switch subjects just for a moment. I'm watching you and you're so serious, and I know it's time to ask you, since you were here last, you were just starting with the plans of removing the guard tower. I know you've made a lot of progress since you were here, and your men have made a lot of progress in the past 4 days. So, how is that going now? Because I know you've been in contact with them a lot since this morning and since the discovery of this stairway. So, please share that, and also tell us about the people that you're donating to, because I know they're so grateful. Can you touch on that for us for just a moment?
That part of the work has already begun to take shape, and the first stones have started leaving the courtyard. Not in great numbers yet. We are still sorting carefully, but enough that the villagers have begun coming through in small groups. One at a time, as we planned. We are all taking our time through this. There is no rush, no crowding. A mason will walk the rows, run his hand across the stone, and choose what he needs. A farmer will stand longer, measuring beams with his eye before deciding which will hold best through winter. There is a kind of respect in it, and no one takes more than they need. So yes, they are grateful, though not in loud ways. It is more in how they speak, how they carry the materials away. Carefully, as though they understand where it came from. I have seen one man pause before loading his cart. Just for a moment, almost as if he were acknowledging the keep itself. That is enough for me. It tells me this is being done the right way.
So you sent me a picture, and actually, I don't even know who took it because you didn't take it, and it had to be someone else there that sent it to you. I love this picture. And it's of you high on scaffolding, and I mean, oh my, I looked at that and my heart just fell. But it kind of made me concerned there for a moment about you. But you were looking down at two men, and the expressions on your face, they were acknowledging you, and you had your hand up acknowledging them. And it was just beautiful. I stared at it for a very, very long time. And I hope what I'm going to try to replicate that and make an image so I can put here so people can see this, because it was true humility and true giving no matter what the case was. I just love it. I'm going to save this one for a very long time.
I know the moment you are speaking of, Veliana. I did not realize the moment had been captured. Those two men. They had just selected their stone. One for a chimney, the other for a foundation repair. They were not asking, they were choosing with care. When I looked down and they looked up, there was no formality in it, no titles, no distance. It was just understanding that this was not a gift given from above, but something shared. If you are able to recreate that image, I think it would be a good thing for others to see. Because that moment, that is the purpose of all of this. Not the tower coming down, but what rises from it afterward.
Oh, I agree. The tower has already served its purpose and function. So, since it's already been there and no longer is needed, this idea that you came up with is really brilliant. It just is sharing the keep and this energy being transferred. It just is moving along, and it keeps Vale Keep alive for years and centuries to come. And I really like that. That makes me proud, in a good way, to be the lady of Valehaven.
My lady, you should be proud. I am proud to call you the Lady of Valehaven. This is not for what I have done, but for what you understand. Most would see stone leaving a keep and think something is being lost. You see that it is continuing, simply in a different form. That is why Vale Keep will live. Because it is no longer held in place by walls alone, but by people, by care, and by those who choose to carry it forward. And as for Vale Haven, it is already becoming what it was meant to be, a place that reflects that same spirit. You and I are not preserving something that is fading. We are guiding something that is still very much alive.
This is really exciting, isn't it? It feels great. So now when you leave tomorrow, what's next? And what's next for you? And is there a particular thing other than looking into this passage going on to stall the work that you've started, or will you be assigning others to different things while you decide what this is?
It is exciting, Veliana, more than I expected it to be. When I return, the work will continue. I will not allow everything to stop for the sake of one discovery. The dismantling of the tower will go on as planned. The men know their task now, and they are working well together. The sorting and distribution will continue alongside it. But, for now, that passage will become my focus. I will have a smaller group set aside, trusted hands, to clear the entrance properly and stabilize the area. No one will go down until I am there. So no, it will not stall the work. It will simply add another layer to it. Vale Keep, it seems, has decided this is the right time to reveal more than we expected.
It certainly is. And once again, I'm so excited to hear all about this. Thank you so much for sharing it. But before we leave today, everyone loves the fact that we are here baking, and we are just experimenting with baking and breads and even teas. But I know that you love the bread, and that's why I do it. And I really like to give it to you, and I know you really enjoy it. So I just want to put this into perspective for everyone who are listening. We have gone through more than 30 pounds of flour, or I have in the last 5 days, 3.5 pounds of butter. And it's all very much appreciated. So yeah, and I'm not the one. I eat a little bit, but I have to tell you the one thing that I like. Sometimes late at night, I'll go in to lay down, and Lord Greggor is up reading. He's up listening to something. We say goodnight. I rest for a bit. And I know he comes in and checks on me. And one thing I see is he's got a cup of tea in one hand and a piece of bread in the other. And I just think that is so wonderful. So with all that being said, Lord Greggor keeps me in flour and what I need to make the butter and the other goodies for us. So my question for you now is, Your Grace, can you take some of this bread back with you? Will you be able to do that so where you can have it to eat while you're getting back to the keep?
My lady, I would be disappointed if I could not. Yes, I will be more than happy to take some with me, though I suspect it will not last nearly as long as you might hope. Bread made by your hands has a way of disappearing rather quickly, even in a place as large as Vale Keep. It will be welcome there, I assure you. After long hours in the courtyard, something warm and familiar, something made with care, carries more value than anything stored in the keep's kitchen and hearth. And I will likely keep a few portions aside, just for myself. Not out of selfishness, of course, but preservation.
Of course, Your Lordship, especially for preservation. So I guess I better get busy because I don't know how many loaves that you can carry with you, but I'm going to send you along your way with as many as you can. But in the meantime, Is there anything that you would like to share with our friends of Vale Keep? Our time goes by so quickly when we're recording, and I just want to see if there's something that you would like to share with them in our final moments.
My lady, only this: what is happening at Vale Keep is not hurried, and it is not for show. It is something steady, something that will unfold over time. But already, in just these few days, you can feel the change. Stone moving, space opening, people coming forward not out of curiosity, but with purpose. And now, something unexpected revealing itself beneath it all. So, to those listening, thank you for being part of this in the way that you are. Quietly, respectfully, walking alongside us. And as for you, my lady, do not trouble yourself too much with how much bread I can carry. I have a feeling I will be finding reasons to return for more, very soon.
Well, I definitely look forward to that, and thank you, Your Grace. I will have the pantry stocked full of what is needed. And for all of you listening, thank you so much for being here. It means so much to us, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate your support and love coming to us, and we're definitely going to keep you informed and definitely going to let you know what this passage is all about. All of you have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you're listening from. Thanks again, and be well. Goodbye for now.
Good evening to you, my lady, and to all who have listened. May your homes be warm, your tables full, and your day steady. Until we speak again, take care. And my lady, do not forget the bread, please.
My lord, there's no chance that I will.